Hi guys, welcome along. Today we are going to work on some kind of legs, hips, and glutes. What I find working with people for nearly a decade in the fitness industry is that people normally tend to be quite weak through their hips or quite tight through their hips and weak through their glutes, even though you feel like you are training those areas quite well. We can always make little improvements. Kind of leaving those areas slack will lead to postural issues, hip issues, as far as going up into your shoulder and neck if your posture is off. Um, and also, eventually down the road, it could possibly lead towards arthritis in those joints. So, you want to make sure to keep those joints mobile, those muscle groups strengthened, to do the best to avoid all that. So, in saying that, let's get started. Make your way up onto your feet. At this stage, we do a little warm up and then we get into our work. So, let's make your way up onto your feet. Take your time coming up. I'm just going to lift this webcam just a little so you get to see my head. Okay, perfect. So, feet about hip width. We're just going to go for a little squat and bounce, warming up through the hips, through the knees, through the ankles, and getting that whole body warmed up. So inhaling and exhaling as we move. Keep your feet flat, bending at the knees, push your hips back. I'm sure most of you are familiar with a squat. Just a little bounce at the end. Bring those arms up overhead. Good. 3 more. Last 2. Last one. What I want you to do is bring your left leg up and balance, knee in front of the hip. And again, we go same leg. Up, balance. 2 more. If you need to leave your toes on the ground, do. But take the weight off that leg. Last one. And we change. We go for 4, 3. Last 2. Last one. Coming up. And gently down. Good. And relax. All right, we get those shoulders moving. So I want you to lift your shoulders up to your ears, back and down. So just shoulders for the minutes. Relax your arms. Good. A little bit of elbow in it. And then when you're comfortable, a lot of elbow for 4, 3, 2, and 1. And let's change direction. Up to your ears, forward and down. Good to get those shoulders loosened up. A little bit of elbow. And then a lot of elbow if it suits for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. And relax. I want you to bring your feet to about hip width and let's go for hip circles. So start small and slow with your circles. Good. Focus on the movement through the hip joint. And then when you're comfortable, you can work a little bit bigger if it suits. Take your time. Good. For 3 more. Last 2. Last 1. And let's change direction. So again, bring it back. Start small and slow. And then when you are comfortable, work a little bit bigger if it suits. Don't worry about going faster too much. Good. For 3, 2. Last one. Good. And relax. I want you to make your way down onto the floor. Take your time coming down. I'm just going to adjust the camera slightly down so you can see better. And I'm actually going to take off my jumper. The warm-up did its job. Ooh, okay, perfect. So like I said, we're going to start into some of our hip and kind of glute work here. So what I want you to do first, we're going to start on some hip circles, but we're going to just lie down first. Just get back in tune with that neutral spine and tabletop position. Because if you're not practicing regularly, that can kind of go out of the mind a little bit. And then we're kind of comfortable to work from there. So gently lying down onto the ground. Have your knees bent. All right, and feet flat. Now, just rocking forward and back through the pelvis. So remember when you rock forward, this is your anterior tilt. You're tilting your pelvis to the front. When you rock back, this is your posterior tilt. You're really pushing into the ground. And you want to find somewhere in the middle. So What you're looking for here is trying to find that kind of neutral position, so that straight position through the spine. You're not lifting and you're not pushing, you're holding. So a straight line down through the spine. And remember, think about your spine always being in contact with the mat. When you find that position, lower abdominals should feel on, and a straight line from your pubic bone towards your belly button. I want you to bring the legs to tabletop position. So knees above the hips, ankles in line with the knees. Good. So it's just having a little feel of this position, feeling like the body is having to work even though we're not actually moving anything. So just hold it strong here. You can pop your hands in by your sides and just breathe for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gently down. Good. And relax. So we're going to start in some hip circles if you want to have a quick little look, and then we'll start working. So hip circles are going to improve the mobility through your hip joint, the strength through your hip joint, as well as the overall strength through your body, also improving your stabilization through the joints. So when you set up, you would go in neutral spine. If you want to work, or bring the legs to tabletop, sorry, if you want to work the right leg, then you would pop the left leg down. You can keep the left knee bent and have your foot flat, just step a little bit further away, or you can extend the left leg once you don't arch your back off the ground, once you can hold in position. All right, with the right leg, you can keep the right knee bent, you can straighten it a little bit or straighten it a lot, whatever suits. Hands down by your side. You're going to start making circles through the hip joint, keeping the circles small and slow if that suits you. What's really important here is when the leg goes away, you're inhaling as it's furthest away and you're exhaling as you're lifting up. Inhaling as it's furthest and exhaling, lifting. Remember, you can go bent knee, but think about the movement through your hip, not through your knee. So this stays still, this moves. So as you inhale furthest away and exhale, lift. So think about like those spirographs when we were younger. Think about that you have a pencil on your knee or a pencil on your toe and you're drawing circles on the ceiling. Now, what we don't want to happen is the pelvis to roll around on the floor. So we want the rest of the body to be nice and still. So think about your pelvis doesn't actually lift off the ground. So your lower back always stays in contact with the mat. It doesn't roll side to side, it doesn't lift, it doesn't arch. You hold everything nice and steady. It's literally just that hip joint moving. Inhaling when the leg is furthest, bracing and supporting the back, exhaling as you lift it up. We're going to go 3 circles each direction on each leg. All right, so let's get started. Let's go neutral, nice and strong. Bring the legs to tabletop. Now, you can keep the left leg up and you can pop the left leg down. You can keep the knee bent with your foot flat, just step it further away, or straighten it out. Hands down by your sides. You can keep the right leg is down, the left leg is up, sorry. You can keep the left leg bent or straight-ish or straight, whatever suits. You're going to inhale out, down and around. Inhale when it's furthest and exhale as you lift for number 1. Keep them small if that suits. 2. Last one. We're going to change direction. Inhaling furthest, exhaling up. Do not leave the hips roll off the mat. They need to stay here. Inhaling furthest, exhaling, lifting. Good. Bring your legs to tabletop and we change. Left leg goes down, right leg goes up. And again, inhaling furthest, exhaling, lifting. Remember, nothing else moves except that hip joint. And we're changing direction. Inhale across the leg down to the toes, exhaling, lifting. Remember, keep them small if needed. Bring the legs to tabletop, rest them down. Good, and relax. Take a little second. So if you're not used to doing kind of movements like that, it will feel quite tough, but I find always the first round of something always feels a little bit tougher. Second round, not that it'll be easier, but you know what to expect, so you kind of have a better idea of your body. It won't feel as tough, it won't feel as uncomfortable as such. You'll feel a little bit more comfortable in the movement. So again, second round, we're going to go a 4 each direction, each leg. This is not something that we want to go really, really hard at. Don't be going massive circles if you can't hold your body still. Small circles, eventually they'll increase to bigger circles. Keep your knee bent if a straight leg doesn't suit you, especially if you're tied through the hamstrings. So let's go second round, 4 each direction. You can do less if you want. Let's go really strong neutral. Bring the legs to tabletop. You can pop, it was the right leg down and left knee bent or straight-ish or fully straight, hands down. Inhaling as you go furthest and exhaling, lifting. Think inhaling to your belly. 2 more. Last one, I could be wrong. Exhaling, lift. We change direction. Inhale furthest away. Exhaling, lifting up. Inhaling, hold that body still. Don't let the hips rock. 2 more. Hold, 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 hold. Last one. Inhale, belly, 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 belly. Exhale, lift, 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 lift. Good. Bring the legs to tabletop. We're going to change. Second leg, left leg down. Either leave it bent or step it out. Right leg up, bent knee or straight leg, and off we go with an inhale as it goes furthest. Exhaling, lift. Hold those hips nice and steady. Hold that pelvis. Don't let it move. Do not let your back arch. Exhaling, lift. Strong lift. Last one. Inhale. We change direction. Inhaling. Exhaling. Remember, keep them small if needed. Really, really strong through that whole body. Use your arms as a good base. Last one. Good. Bring the legs to tabletop. Rest them down and relax. Oh, well done. Really, really nice work. Okay, so straight away you'll feel like your hips are nearly a little bit looser, but always just keep those circles as small as kind of suits you. Once it's challenging you a little bit, but not going to hurt you or go beyond what's suited for you. You need to be able to hold that body. When you can hold that body and the circle is a challenging size, that's perfect. And as you improve, the circle can get a little bit bigger. So really, really good. I really like that movement. I definitely feel like it improves my hip mobility massively. So I do really like that. So I want you to come to a seated position. Take your time coming up. Okay. And we're going to go on to some kind of glute work and kind of full body with say stabilization work, we'll call it. So for this, we're going to be working in a side lying position. We're going to be lifting to our abductor and adductor, and we have to hold that body nice and strong. So what I want you to do is come down to the floor, making sure that you can see the screen. Okay. Now, for this setup, you can rest your head on your arm. You're stacking your hips, all right? So one hip on top of the other. I don't want you back on your bum cheek or forward onto your belly. All right, a straight line down through the body. Think about squeezing the bum so as you're forward through your hips. All right, and your 2 feet are pointed or heels, whatever suits, or kind of flex or relax, but not fully just floppy. So as engage the legs. Now, hand in front of your chest for balance. You're going to lift the top leg up from your hip joint using your glute. Keep your leg as straight as you can. You're going to lift the bottom leg up only as far as suits. Hold that body still. Gently lower the bottom, lower the top. Lift, lift, lower, lower. Good. All right, so we're all together now. Keep the lifts as small as suits you. All right, so if your lifts are here, that's perfect. The 2 legs do not have to meet at the top if that doesn't suit, but I don't want you rolling back just to try and get a higher lift. Holding nice and steady through the abductor and through the adductor. We're going last 3. Lift, lift, lower, lower. Last 2. Lift from ab, lift from ad, gently down. Last one. Lift, lift, lower, lower. Good, and relax. So you should be feeling that into the hip, into the glute area, and you should be feeling it quite difficult to actually lift the bottom. Like it's something you're not used to, but when you lift that, you will really have to stabilize the body. So that's where it's going to challenge you. So let's go to our second side. All you have to do is roll over. You know it's going to happen. We're aiming for about 10. Small lifts if that suits, bigger lifts if that suits, once you can hold that body nice and still. So again, set yourself up. Your hips are stacked one on top of the other. You're squeezing your bum so you're forward through your hips. You're not back on your bum cheek. Your two legs are nice and long. Your feet are engaged. Hand in front of your chest. You're going to lift top, lift bottom, lower bottom, lower top. Number two, lift, lift, lower. Good. Number three, hold that body nice and strong. Focus the movement coming from your hips, using your glutes, using your legs. Nice and long through the knees as well. So fully extend it, getting that nice engagement into the quads. Lift, lift, lower, lower. Well done. Okay, I'm going to say we're on our last four. But if you've kept count and I'm wrong, then go with your count. Last three, up, down, down. Last two, lift, lift, down, down. Now last one. Try not to roll back just to get a higher lift. Lower, lower. Good. And relax. Take a little second, let's roll to our second side. Now, on our second side, we're going to add a little bit of extra spice. So if it suits you and you're kind of comfortable there, we're still going to aim for 10 lifts, but at the end of our last lift, we're going to hold both legs up if that suits you. When you hold them up, you're going to feel a lot more through your waist, through your obliques. All right, so that's where a hold will really come from. You'll also feel through the areas that we're lifting, but that area will really have to work a lot harder. If it doesn't suit to hold both legs up, you can always lower the bottom leg and hold the top leg up, or just rest to the floor. I don't mind. So we're going 10 lifts, optional 10-second hold. All right, so let's get ourselves set up. Round two. So again, nice strong position. There's no point in lying back and bending the leg, try and get it higher. So that's going to take out a lot of where we're working, the abductor. You're going to bring in hip flexor, and then you're just rolling back to get the leg up. Whereas you want to focus on your hip actually having to lift the leg. So nice strong position. Squeeze the bum forward through the hips, straight line down through the body. And when you're ready, we're going to lift top, lift bottom, lower top. Now, if you are comfortable with the height you're lifting at, why not try and challenge the legs? Challenge yourself that lifting a little bit higher. Good. Number four, up, up, down, down. Lift for number five. Always in control of the legs. Do not let them flop. Number six, lift, lift, lower, lower. Number seven, nice and strong. Good. Lift for eight. Up, up, down, down. Number nine, we're nearly there. And remember, we have our hold at the end. Right, last one. Lift, lift, and hold if you have it. Rest if you need to. Hold. Think about the waist. Think about squeeze through here. Hold, hold, hold for 7, 6, 5, 3, 2, 1. Down, down, and relax. Good, well done. You feel that a little bit more into the waist just to hold those legs up. All right, let's move. Second side. So you know the story with me at this stage. Um, you want to match your second side to your first side as best you can. So if you did 8 reps, then you're aiming for 8. If you didn't do the hold, then don't feel obligated to do the hold. But if you did the hold for about 5 seconds, then you're looking to match that for at least 5 seconds. Okay, second round. Let's get ourselves ready. In position, nice strong sideline position. When you're ready, lift top, lift bottom, lower bottom, lower top. Number 2, lift, lift, lower, lower. Number 3, strong lift through the hips. Remember, into the abductors, into the adductors. Number 5. Good. All right, on our last 5, lift, lift, lower, lower. Last 4. Last 3, lift, lift. Good. Lower, lower. Nearly there. 2 more. Lift, up, down, down. Last 2. Good. Right, last one if you have it. Let's hold. Up, up, and hold, hold, hold. Think waist, waist, waist. Breathe for 8, 7, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gently down, gently down. Woo! And relax. Good stuff. Just chill out for a little second. Hug your knees into your chest, taking tension off the hips, off the glutes. Just relaxing the body. Okay. The good news is we move on. The I don't know if it's good or bad news is we stay in the side lying position. All right, so if you want to come to a seated position or just look in whatever way is comfortable for you, I'll show you the next movement. So next move we're going to go on to is a side lying leg kick. Our side lying leg kick is going to be challenging in through our glutes, through our hips, and again trying to hold that body nice and steady. It's also going to give us that stretch into the hamstring and into the glute. So have a little look for the setup and just make sure you have a little bit of clear space out in front of you because you're going to be kicking your leg forward. So for the setup here on this, you can go with that side lying position with your head on your arm and hand in front of your chest if that suits you, or you're going to come elbow on the ground and head into hand. God, I couldn't think what I was saying there for a second. You can keep your hand in front of your chest for balance as well if that suits you better. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to be lifting that top leg up in line with our hip. You're going to be kicking forward with an exhale. I think I'm going to kick my bottle. You're going to be kicking forward with an exhale. Still keeping the leg in line with my hip. Then you kick back just a little bit past the lower leg on the ground. Think about squeezing through the glutes. So you're forward. Inhale back. All right. Now, if you're really struggling to keep your balance, you can bend that bottom knee. That'll give you a larger base to hold your balance. With the leg going back, I don't want you throwing yourself around just to try and get the leg moving further. So with the leg going back, all I want you to think about is a little glute squeeze. I don't need the leg to go back really far. You'll feel just a little bit of a stretch through your hip flexor with that nice inhale as the leg goes back. When you kick forward, feeling that stretch into your hamstring, into your glute, but you need to stabilize the body. And what I tell people when we do this is that think about transferring the weight internally before the leg shifts back or shifts forward. So your body has to anticipate that shift in your weight as such through your balance. So you need to be ready, and that's where that body's going to work to hold you nice and steady. So try not to fall forward and back. Your body has to be ready to take that shift of weight through the body. Okay, so we're just going to go 6 kicks each side for the first round, see where we're at. So remember, you can go here, you can go here, hand in front of your chest. Remember, you can bend that bottom knee if you're really struggling with balance or if it just feels more comfortable, or you can keep the leg straight, which is going to be a little bit more challenging. Either way, we lift that top leg and the leg should roughly be in line with your hip, and it always stays in that line. You're going to kick forward with an exhale. You're going to inhale back, squeeze the bum, steady the body. Exhale forward. Inhale back. Last one. Kick. Inhale, squeeze. Gently down. Good. Rolling over, other side. So take your time. Sorry, something just have to pop up on the screen. So we will just get rid of that. Okay. So we're going other side. So take your time getting set up. Second side, and we want to match the second side to our first side as best as possible. All right, so let's Lie down, either head on the arm or head into your hand. You can pop your hand down in front of your chest for balance if needed. Um, and you remember you can bend that bottom knee or top leg straight, whatever is going, or bottom leg straight. You're going to lift that top leg into position, take an inhale, exhale, kicking forward. Don't let it touch the floor. Inhale, squeeze back. Exhale, kick. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale back. Exhale gently down. Good. And relax. Harder than they look. I'm sure there was a few bodies rolling around. But just doing your best. Remember, you can bend that bottom knee if it's needed. But you really, really want to hold that body steady. So second round, what we can do, we can add a little double kick forward. So it's like a little pulse. Now it is optional, so don't feel under pressure to take it. But the option is there if it suits you. So you go with the same setup. All right, now when you lift that top leg up to kick forward, take an inhale. You exhale, double kick. Inhale back. All right, now if that doesn't suit, just stay with a single kick. Only kick the leg as far as suits you. So if here, inhale back. If that suits you better, that's perfect. Don't worry about how high you get your leg. Getting your leg higher, it's not a competition. All right, I just want you to focus on the movement that suits you. So we're going to aim for, we're going to go 6 with the double kick. If you want to go single kick, if you want to go about 8. But take your time getting set up, a nice strong position. All right, so hips are stacked, straight line down through the body. Remember, bend that bottom knee if it suits you. Head on your arm if that suits. Let's lift the top. Take an inhale and exhale, optional double kick. Last one. Good, and relax. Let's move, second side. So with the little pulse, you can get that a little bit deeper. It's like a kind of pulse for any exercise. It's just making you work that a little bit harder while you're in the kind of toughest position of the exercise, the working position. All right. So let's try and match the second round to our first round, or a second side to our first side, sorry. So get yourself set up, and when you're ready, working with single or double kick, bent knee or straight leg, lifting top leg. Let's take an inhale, exhale, kick forward. Don't let that leg fall. Always up in line with the hip. Inhale back. I think that was the last one. And rest it down. Good. And relax. Take a little second. Just hug the knees in, whatever feels good. Stretch your legs out. Just a little wiggle side to side. Oh, excuse me. Stretching out the sides. Okay, and when you're ready, come to a seated position. Okay, so we are going to move on. Woohoo! And we're not going to be side lying. Woohoo! So we are going on to our plank jack. Okay, so with our plank jack, we're going to be working through that whole body, through chest, shoulders, back, bum, legs, belly, the whole shebang. We also, with a jack in our plank, we're going to be working through our hips. You can also use one of the little bands, the booty bands as such, through this movement as well to give a little bit more work through the hip, through the abductor, adductor area, hip joints, if that suits you. Okay, so I'll show you the setup and then we'll get into it. So when you set yourself up for your plank position, we are going to go on a high plank, but if a high plank doesn't suit you, you can always go down into a low plank position if that suits better. So your hands will be under your shoulders. You lock your shoulders back into your armpits. All right, so I have a straight line in my upper body, and you're going to step back with the feet. All right, you're holding a nice straight line, head to your heels, belly button sucked in, and then you're going to be stepping, touching to one side with the foot, moving from the hip, stabilizing the body. Now, like I said, if you have a little booty band, you can put it on around the lower part of the leg, so you have to push out against the band. You can also go elbows, elbows under shoulders, hands flat, nice straight line, head to your heels, and you can step and touch. So if it doesn't suit you to be on the wrists, you can go elbows. What I don't want is this, just to try and get the leg further. It's not about how far you move your leg. I want you to focus on the movement coming from your hip joint, using your glutes, and that whole body having to work. You will work a little bit harder here. You are going to sweat a little bit, so be aware. This one is not easy. Okay, if we go about 6 touches to each side first round, just to make sure we have a little feel for it, and then we'll build from there. So, hands on the shoulders or elbows on the shoulders, shoulders back into your armpits, so you have a straight line from your head all the way down the back, and stepping back to a plank position. Think about tucking your pelvis up and under to your belly button, so a nice solid body. All right, and when you're ready, we're going to step and touch to one side. Gently back in, other. 4, 5. Don't let the hips rotate. 7, 8. Don't let the bum lift. 9, 10, 11. Last one. Gently down and relax. Give the wrists a little roll, take a little second, shoulders a little shake. All right, we're going to be going again, another round. So take a little second and relax. We're going to be aiming for, again, we'll say about anywhere from 6 up to 10 per side, all right? Only work where suits you. If you want to do 4, take a little rest. Do another 4, take a little rest. I don't mind. I'd rather quality over quantity. So let's get ourselves ready. Second round, up to 10 per side, but stop where it suits you. So let's get ourselves set. Nice strong position, hands or elbows under shoulders, shoulders locked back. All right, now stepping back to our plank, belly button touching the spine on the inside. And when you're ready, you're going to step and touch for 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. 5. Keep that bum down. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 left if you have it. 10, 7. Don't lose it. Last 5. Strong body. 4, 3, 2. Last one. Out. In. Down. Woo! And relax. Just take a little second, relax the chest down, or whatever way feels good. Good. And take a little second there. Okay. Really, really good stuff. So like I said, you can always add a band to the lower part of your legs there, just to make the body work a little bit harder through the hip joints, through the abductors, through the adductors, and to improve the strength through your hips. But really, really good work. We are going to move on. See, I'm breathless from it. Okay, so we are going to go bird dogs. Okay, now, no, dead bugs. Sorry, that's a lie. Dead bugs. We're going dead bugs. Okay, so what I want you to do is lie back down onto the ground, have your knees bent and feet flat. All right, so bring it to a neutral position here. Now, I want you to bring the legs to tabletop and bring your hands over your chest. Sorry, someone pulled up. All right, hands over your chest. So we're going to be extending opposite leg, opposite arm. I want you to be able to hold that back, always in that neutral position, so your back is always touching the mat, and only lower the leg as low as suits you. So you inhale, lower opposite leg, opposite arm, and exhaling lift. Change sides. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale to the belly, bracing through the back. Leg higher will be easier. All right. If you want to make it a little bit tougher, you can always add a weight into the hand going back. You can add an ankle weight, or you can have a band. If you have a long band in your opposite leg, opposite arm, or you can have a short booty band pushing, holding it in that arm up and that leg going out. Okay, I want you to go one more each side. Inhale, exhale. Good. And gently rest it down. So take a little second here. So this kind of movement might not seem the hardest, but at the same time, we're improving the strength through our hip joints, the overall strength to our midsection, and improving the strength to our shoulder joints. Also mobilizing those joints as well. You can go as high or low with the leg as suits you, extending fully through the knee, getting into the quad as well, trying not to let the leg go floppy. Okay, take a little second. We're going to go for another round. We're going to go up to 10 per leg. If you have a little water bottle that you want to hold, if you have two matching ones, or if you want to stay on the same side, if you have one water bottle, you can hold it in the arm and lift it nice and strong from your lats or your shoulders. Or like I said, if you have an ankle weight or if you have two, you can put one on each leg, again, making you work that a little bit harder. But only if it suits and only if you have them, you do not need them. You can also use a little long band in the opposite leg, opposite arm, or you can have, if you have a booty band, you put it around the leg that's working, you hold it in the arm that's not working, and then you would inhale, push against the band with the leg, and exhale, lift up. So loads of options here. So second round, we're going to go up to 10 per leg. Remember, if you want to hold the weight, you can stay on the same side for your 10 and then you can swap. So let's go neutral. Bring the legs to tabletop. All right, hands over your chest, shoulders back into the ground. And when you're ready, inhale long, only as low as suits. Exhale, lift. Inhale. Exhale. Now do not let your back arch, so your back is always in contact with the mat. Inhaling long, exhaling lift. I'm going to say I'm on 10. Okay, about 10 left roughly. If you've been keeping count better than me, perfect. Last 6, 5, 4, last 3, last one. Inhale out, exhale lift. Good. And relax. Stretch the legs out, hug your knees in, whatever feels good for you at this point. Oh, excuse me, it's always when I do this stretch, I yawn. But like I said, one of those movements that you can take it as easy as you want, or you can kind of give as much to it to get as much out of it. But a movement that is very underrated. Is that the word? Okay. So the good news, we move on to our last movement. Woo. I want you to come up onto your feet. Take your time coming up. I'm just going to lift the webcam a little bit because you get a better position. Okay, I think we should be good there. All right, so for our last movement, we are going into a bit of a kind of squat variation. So it's going to be a squat and balance. Yeah, so this is not easy, right? So I apologize in advance. But we'll give it a little go. I do have an easier option as well. So what I want you to do is have a little look at my feet. So what I want you to do is step a little bit wider. I want your toes pointed out, so you're a slightly kind of sumo squat. Not really, really wide, but just a wider stance than your normal squat. Toes pointed out. And what I want you to think of when you soften your knees, think about your glutes being on already to hold your knees out. If you turn off your glutes, your knees will fall in the way. So knees are going to travel over the path of your feet. Now, when you do squat down into it, we sit back and down into it. Remember, our knees are going to go out, and only sitting down as far as suits you. So if it's here, or if it's lower than me, that's perfect. But what I don't want is this. All right, so I want you to push your hips back and down, pushing your knees out over your feet, and your chest will look down slightly towards the seat. Now, don't just come up out of it for a second, so you can give your legs a little rest and have a little look. So when you go in position, you're going to squat down, pushing the hips back, knees are going to go out. Think about the ceiling after lowering on top of your head. So you can't let your body lift. What we're going to be doing is raising up onto the balls of our feet, moving through our hips, knees, and ankles and feet, and really working those leg muscles. So you're going to raise right up onto the balls of your feet as best you can and gently roll back down. So notice how my head doesn't change position. I'm moving through the feet, the knees, and the hips. Now, if it doesn't, now it's a lot harder than it looks, but if it doesn't suit to do both feet, you can still squat down, go onto one foot. So you roll the body weight over onto that foot, right up onto the toes, gently back down. Then you would change feet. What I don't want when you lift up into position, all right, is this. So you need to be able to just roll the feet gently down. Think about coming up onto the highest pair of high heels that you have when you do roll up. It's really, really nice for the feet to get that good stretch and to strengthen through the feet as well. So let's keep that in mind. If your feet are a little bit stiff, it's just that we don't really do a whole lot through them apart from doing everything through them. So we don't ever really focus on them that much. So think about if your feet are stiff, don't worry about that. Okay, so if we go for about 6 on the first round, have a little bit of fun with this as well. Don't stress yourself. Feet a little bit wider. Remember, squatting down into it, knees go out over the toes. All right, and when you're ready, you're going to raise up onto one foot or two, roll up, and gently down. Don't let your head lift, so the head stays in position. If anyone's at home with you, get them to hold their hand here and to keep your head pushed down into position. Rolling up, gently back down. I think last two. Starting to feel this now in the quads. Woo. Last one. Roll down and relax. Good. Shake out the legs. Woo. So you feel that in the quads. You feel that big time into the legs because, and Sinead will have probably explained this to you, when you're holding the time under tension, like it's a longer time under tension. So those muscle groups are under tension longer, and that's why you can get that real like burn sensation. So just give them a little shake, and then we go again. Again, we're going to aim for about 6. If you're going single leg, maybe aim for about 4, but making sure to bring the weight onto that leg. Okay, last bit of hard work, and then we'll finish up. So feet a little bit wider, toes out, squatting down into position, pushing your knees out over your toes, only as low as suits. And when you're ready, rolling up, pause, gently back down. Number 2, up, gently back down. Number 3, roll through the feet. Good, keep those knees out. Number 4, up, gently back down. Number 5, roll up. Woo. Last one, roll down and relax. Woo. Okay, good stuff. So all our hard work is finished. Woo. We'll just finish off our little yoga flow, and then we'll call it a day there. So it's just make your way towards the top of your mat. This out. All right, and just take your time. Don't work through any position that doesn't suit you. Come out of something if you need to. You're only working to the point of stretch, not pain, so keep that in mind. So coming towards the top of your mat, taking a nice big inhale, looking towards your thumbs, a little exhale, lean back if it suits. Inhale, stand tall, look forward. Exhale, hinge at your hips and head towards the floor. And just let your body hang. Don't force anything, don't bounce. Just focus on your breath into your back. Take one more big deep breath As you exhale, hands down and step your right leg back for a lunge position. Push against the front leg, lift the upper body up, shoulders back and down. Inhaling, exhaling forward to your hips and lean back a little bit, only if it suits. Inhale, push back, pop the back foot down. Coming up into our warrior pose, shoulders back and down. Take an inhale, exhale, bend the front knee and push forward to your hips. Inhale, push back, straighten out the front leg, lower the front hand towards the floor and lift the back hand towards the ceiling, looking towards your fingers behind. Inhale, push back, hands down to plank and step back to our plank position. From here, gently lower your body to the floor, hands underneath the shoulders. Take an inhale, lift the upper body. And again, inhale, lift. I want you to curl your toes in underneath, pushing the hands into the floor, into our downward dog position. Push your chest in towards your belly button, open up the shoulder blades, heels towards the floor, and tailbone towards the ceiling. Take a nice big deep breath. As you exhale, back to your plank position. And from there, we're going to step that right leg forward, left knee down. Take your time. Push against the front leg, shoulders back and down. Inhaling, exhale forward through the hips, leaning back if it suits. Inhale, push back, pop the back foot down, shoulders back and down. Inhale, exhale forward through the front knee. Inhale, push back, straighten out the front foot, lower your front hand towards the floor. Inhaling, push back, step into your forward fold. Take one more big deep breath here. And as you exhale, we're going to roll up, pulling your hips forward, tucking that belly button in, stacking the spine, all the way up, 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 up. And you are done. Woo! Well done, guys. Really, really good work. Thanks very much for tuning in. If you have any questions on the video, don't be afraid to give me a shout. And yeah, thanks very much. Hope your hips feel a little bit looser and then a little bit stronger over time. We'll see you again. Bye.